At number 15, we have Lil Bow Wow. Back in 2017, the Like You singer decided to take his flexing game to a whole new level. He took to Instagram and posted a picture of a sleek private jet, making his followers believe he was about to embark on a lavish journey. But oh boy, was everyone in for a surprise. One of his eagle-eyed fans happened to spot him on a regular commercial flight. And what did he do? The thing Gen Z is an expert at. He snapped a photo of him and posted it on a Snapchat, revealing his true whereabouts. Imagine the shock and disbelief. Why? The fans also dug deeper and traced the original Instagram post back to a stock photo of a private plane. And guess what? The image was actually used by a Fort Lauderdale limousine company. It was the worst way to get busted. So, note to self, when you're trying to fake flex on social media, make sure you cover your tracks better than Lil Bow Wow did. Otherwise, you'll end up being the laughing stock of the internet. Coming up at number 14, we have none other than the famous Rick Ross. Now, if you don't know who Rick Ross is, he's a renowned rapper who made waves in the music industry with his distinct style and captivating flow. He was also claimed to be MTV's hottest MC back in 2012. Now, in a certain year that caught the attention of fans, Rick Ross took to social media with an extravagant display of his opulent lifestyle. Back in 2020, he proudly shared a photo on Instagram, flaunting a collection of lavish Louis Vuitton bags. He was seen carrying not one, but 3 Louis Vuitton bags. However, little did he know that his devoted followers possessed an eye for detail. It didn't take long for them to spot a glaring inconsistency. Those bags seemed suspiciously fake. A keen observer among his fans pointed out the telltale signs. The presence of blue protective wraps on the metal tabs, an unmistakable mark of counterfeit goods. So, both the backpack and carry-on were quickly identified as phony.
It's a fake.
Adding an intriguing twist to the story, this was not Rick Ross's first encounter with accusations of fake flexing. Let's travel back to May 2009, when he grabbed headlines for donning counterfeit Louis Vuitton sunglasses on the cover of XXL magazine. While the store owner argued that the shades were customized but genuine, the brand's attorney wasted no time in strongly denying their authenticity and swiftly disassociating themselves from any connection to Rick Ross. How embarrassing for the hustlin' singer. Kicking off at number 13, we have Soulja Boy. Born DeAndre Cortez Way, Soulja Boy gained fame in the mid-2000s with his catchy tunes and unique dance moves. Given his early fame, you can imagine that Soulja Boy had a taste for flexing, but little did we know just how far he would go. The saga continued with a mansion. Soulja Boy took his fans on a virtual tour of his supposed new mansion. But surprise, surprise, it turned out to just be a rented place, not actually his own fancy pad. And then there are stacks of fake cash in his music videos. Soulja Boy would throw around money like he was swimming in it, but sharp-eyed fans noticed that the money had prop markings, revealing that it was just fake money used for the show. And when it comes to jewelry, Soulja Boy does not forget to flaunt his bling. However, later on, it was discovered that the fancy Rolex watch and diamond chains he showed off were actually knockoffs, not the real deal. But wait, there's more.
You gotta be kidding me.
Soulja Boy tried to boast his online presence by buying fake followers. He wanted to appear popular and influential, but people quickly caught on to this game too. Not stopping there, Soulja Boy even entered the gaming world with his own console. But guess what? It turned out to be a knockoff from China, not something original. From fake designer headbands to counterfeit clothes, Soulja Boy was all about putting on a show. Even his AirPods were found to be knockoffs, not the real Apple ones.
No way.
So it seems like the world of this Crank That rapper, appearances mattered more than reality. But the truth always has a way of coming out, reminding us that true success and authenticity cannot be faked. Taking the spot at number 12, we have the king of controversies, 6ix9ine. In a recent jaw-dropping interview with TMZ Live, 6ix9ine spilled the beans about a certain Instagram video that had fans losing their minds. You know the one we're talking about. The clip where he's chilling with stacks of cash, a whopping $2 million to be exact. But here's the plot twist. Those greenbacks were as real as a unicorn riding a rainbow. When the interviewers pressed him about the consequences of flashing all that dough, 6ix9ine couldn't help but come clean. He admitted that it was all just make-believe money, prop money, straight out of a movie set. Talk about fake flexing at its finest. In the infamous Instagram video, 6ix9ine is seen surrounded by flashy sports cars and even making it rain with his millions. He even shamelessly plugged his new music video for Gine, dropping more hints that he's still living the high life. But let's not forget that this revelation comes hot on the heels of his court appearance, where he claimed to be lacking the funds to pay off a hefty $1 million lawsuit. Oh, the irony. Once again, 6ix9ine proved that truth is a flexible concept in his world. Next, at number 11, we have the Lift Me Up singer, Tyga. Let's uncover the dramatic twist that unfolded in his relationship with the famous Kylie Jenner, the billionaire beauty mogul. During their time together, Tyga and Kylie Jenner seemed to have it all, a fairy tale romance with lavish gestures. On Kylie's 18th birthday, Tyga surprised her with a jaw-dropping gift, an extravagant $450,000 Ferrari. The world watched in awe as their love story played out in the spotlight. But hold on to your seats, because here comes the dramatic revelation. As the dust settled, it was uncovered that Tyga's grand gesture was nothing more than smoke and mirrors. The flashy Ferrari he gifted Kylie was, in fact, only leased.
No way.
And not just leased, it was leased in her name. The audacity, right? The truth was more spicy news than a shock to the entertainment world, exposing the illusion of their extravagant display of affection. And soon, the same happened as everyone expected. The sensational couple broke up and parted ways. Securing the spot at number 10, we have none other than the enigmatic rapper, Kodak. Back in 2018, Chris Brown took to social media and exposed Kodak Black for flexing fake money on Instagram. It caused quite a stir, as fans eagerly awaited Kodak's response. And true to his unpredictable nature, Kodak did not shy away from addressing the situation head-on.
Money you be seeing me with on Instagrams, that be fake money, man. That be prop money. This is not my money, girl. I do not have nothing.
In a surprising twist, Kodak admitted to his fans that the flashy props he used, such as money and private jets in his videos, were just for show. He clarified that he never claimed to own those extravagant items, but simply used them to enhance his image and artistry. Remarkably, Kodak's candid approach struck a chord with his loyal fan base. They appreciated his honesty and saw beyond the superficial allure. In a world saturated with illusions, Kodak's authenticity resonated deeply. After the confession, Chris posted another video and captioned it with crying, laughing, and fire emojis. It was his way to add a touch of humor and essentially co-sign what Kodak Black had revealed. Coming up at number 9, we have the renowned no-brainer singer, DJ Khaled. Picture this, DJ Khaled rocking a stylish jacket that turned heads wherever he went. This particular jacket was rumored to be from the prestigious brand Goyard, known for its high-end designs. It was during a big event or appearance that DJ Khaled flaunted this attention-grabbing piece. People could not help but notice and have opinions about it. But here's where things got dramatic. Goyard, the luxury brand itself, started questioning the jacket's authenticity. They wondered if it was truly one of their creations or just a clever knockoff. The controversy had everyone talking. People were divided, with some praising the jacket's style, while others raised doubts about its origins. Ever the resilient personality, Khaled hit back in his signature fashion, suggesting that Goyard had become part of the elusive they he often refers to in his motivational speeches. Surprisingly, amid the clash, Khaled took an unexpected turn by endorsing Goyard on Twitter. He called upon his devoted fans to support and purchase their products, showcasing his ability to rise above the tension. Meanwhile, Goyard also underwent a change of heart. They decided to backtrack from their initial claims, deleting their original tweets. The luxury brand clarified that although the jacket was indeed made from genuine Goyard scarves, it was not an official collaboration. We're still going crazy about what really happened behind closed doors. Next, at number 8, we have the famous rapper and actor 50 Cent. 50 Cent is a rapper known for his extravagant lifestyle and occasional financial roller coasters. But when faced with bankruptcy, he had to get creative with his money-flaunting antics. The rapper, whose real name is Curtis Jackson, found himself in a legal battle after being ordered to pay hefty damages for sharing a sex tape without consent. Seeking financial protection, he turned to bankruptcy. That didn't stop him from keeping up appearances. After filing for bankruptcy, 50 Cent took to Instagram with a jaw-dropping display of cash. However, things took a twist when he revealed that the money was nothing more than props, not the real deal.
Why?
It was a totally staged show just to flex his fake wealth. And if that wasn't enough, he even shared a video showcasing a magnificent building, claiming to be his upcoming mansion in Africa. However, in court, 50 Cent's lawyers clarified that the cash and property were all totally fake. The staged money and imaginary mansion were simply part of his social media marketing strategy, commonly used in the entertainment industry. It's a wild tale of fake flexing and a reminder that things are not always as they seem, especially when it comes to projecting wealth in the age of social media.
You're goddamn right.
Kicking off at number 7, we have the young and flashy Lil Pump. The rapper's known for his wild fashion sense and relentless flexing on social media and at events. This guy never misses a chance to show off his designer outfits, blinged out jewelry, and those expensive chains that come with jaw-dropping price tags. But here's where things get juicy. Picture this: Lil Pump strutting his stuff in an LA store called Paris Funk. Now, you would think it's just another fancy boutique, right? Well, hold on to your seats, because this is a wicked twist. Turns out, Paris Funk is no ordinary store. It's a den of deceit, selling counterfeit goods that look like the real deal, but are nothing more than clever imitations. What a newsflash, right? Lil Pump unknowingly rocks his supposed high-end purchases from a shop peddling fake stuff. The revelation hit the industry like a bombshell, leaving fans and haters alike in disbelief. Continuing at number 6, we have the songwriter, singer, and rapper Young Thug. When it comes to flaunting his wealth, Young Thug knows how to turn heads. His social media pages become a stage for his extravagant lifestyle, with one particular obsession stealing the spotlight: his impressive collection of watches. These timepieces, with their gleaming faces and intricate details, became a symbol of his elevated status and opulence. However, little did he know that lurking in the shadows was an Instagram page called Fake Watch Busta. These watch aficionados had made it their mission to expose the truth behind celebrity watch flexing. With meticulous attention to detail, they unveiled the dark secret behind Young Thug's timepiece. In a dramatic twist, Fake Watch Busta revealed the shocking truth. Young Thug's coveted watch was nothing more than a masterfully crafted counterfeit. Every flaw was laid bare for the world to see. The evidence was damning. Next, hot at number 5, we have the queen of rap herself, Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj skyrocketed to fame with her incredible talent and unique style, winning the hearts of millions around the globe. In her epic music video for Massive Attack, Nicki flaunted her swag behind the wheel of a dazzling 2008 pink Lamborghini. She even mentioned it in her lyrics, making everyone believe it was her ride. But here's the plot twist: it wasn't hers at all. It was just a fancy rental. Things took a weird turn during the shoot, when Nicki accidentally banged up the rental, turning her dream ride into a nightmare. To make matters worse, she was slapped with a crazy lawsuit demanding a whopping $11,000. Ouch. But the drama didn't end there. The final song itself fell flat, leaving fans feeling let down. It was a major facepalm moment for Nicki and her team. Taking the next spot at number 4, we have Riff Raff. This eccentric rapper always knows how to grab attention, and his love for flaunting his bling is no secret. During an interview at the renowned Cleveland's Ilthy store, Riff Raff wasted no time in showing off his prized possession, a stunning bridling Avenger watch. It was adorned with dazzling gems, so it was a sight to behold, or so he thought. But little did he know that behind him was the notorious Fake Watch Busta Instagram account, ready to expose any hint of deception. These watch experts meticulously compared Riff Raff's timepiece with a genuine one, uncovering the shocking truth. The flaws were crazy: wrong dial measurements, questionable details, and unidentifiable discrepancies. In the world of high-end watches, authenticity is everything, and Riff Raff's prized gem-studded timepiece was unfortunately deemed a counterfeit. The fake watch buster strikes again, revealing the harsh reality behind his flashy display. Next, at number 3, we have Tekashi 69. Again, during a video shoot with Ice Master Jimmy Boy and Ugly Gods, things took an unexpected turn. Tekashi, ever the showman, whipped out a diamond detector, a pen-like device that used thermal conductivity to determine if gems are real or fake. It's like an ultimate test for bling legitimacy. With excitement in the air, the detector beeped like crazy when it came in contact with the rings and chains of Jimmy Boy and Ugly Gods, confirming the authenticity of their jewels. But then came the moment of truth. When Tekashi's own chain was tested, a deafening silence filled the room. No beep, no indication of real diamonds. It was a cringeworthy and embarrassing moment for the self-proclaimed King of New York. His flashy chain failed the authenticity test, leaving him exposed. It was an awkward moment for the rappers and the fans. Yikes. Rocking the stage at number 2, we have Ace Hood. The American singer-slash-rapper quickly gained popularity in the music world and is often featured in the music videos of big names in the industry. But his swag took a major hit during the epic BET Awards. Guess what happened? Ace Hood's fancy Rolex watch pulled a surprise move and detached from its bezel right in the midst of all the glitz and glam. It was a jaw-dropping moment that left him shaking his head in disbelief. And he did not hold back when he spilled the juicy details during a no-holds-barred interview with the popular Los Angeles radio station Power 106. He completely expressed his frustration about dropping a hefty $60,000 on a watch that could not keep it together. The betrayal was real. He said that it was the jeweler who was at fault and claimed that he even had to cut ties with the jeweler responsible for the bling blunder. Now, let's keep it real, folks. Rolex watches are meant to be the cream of the crop, built to withstand anything. So, when Ace Hood's bezel decided to take a leap of faith, it raised eyebrows and left us wondering, can a Rolex really pull a disappearing act like that? No, definitely not. Last but not least, at number 1, we have the Feels singer and rapper, Big Sean. Big Sean found himself caught in a web of controversy when fans speculated that his flashy jewels were nothing but fake flexing. Everyone was questioning his authenticity and wondered if his sea of jewels was the real deal. But little did they know, Big Sean had a surprising twist up his sleeve. In a shocking revelation, Big Sean himself came forward and admitted that some of his most coveted pieces were indeed fake. Number 11. Nelly. At the start of the 2000s, there weren't many rappers or pop musicians more prominent and popular than Nelly. Country Grammar, the artist's first album, sold over 10 million copies in the United States, and Nellyville sold over 6 million. Nelly made millions from his groundbreaking, melodic, half-sung, half-rap music, but the trouble began when he failed to pay his taxes on those earnings. The federal government placed a lien on the rapper's finances in August 2016. The Internal Revenue Service claimed that the rapper owed more than $2.4 million in back taxes. Just a few months after the Missouri Department of Revenue convinced Nelly to pay $115,000 in unpaid state taxes, which, when combined with 3 years of interest, resulted in a bill of $150,000. Foreclosure and seizure was the way he managed to pay the debt. Number 10. Nas. At the time of this video, Nas is worth an estimated $70 million. However, it was not always this way after he struck fame. Nas has had a long and successful career, appearing nearly 24 times on the Billboard Hot 100 chart between 1994 and 2018. In 2005, he married fellow artist Khalees, but things quickly went south. She filed for divorce in 2009 while pregnant with their first child. Regardless of what went wrong in their marriage, Nas's difficult financial situation became clear during the divorce. According to Essence, while negotiating the amount of child support Nas would pay, the rapper claimed he owed his manager $700,000 and the IRS millions. However, he was still required to pay more than $50,000 in support each month. He might not have had the money though, because Khalees claims Nas wasn't fulfilling his obligations before they divorced. The judge ruled that he owed her $300,000 in back child support and alimony. However, Nas claimed that paying the amount would bankrupt him. His lawyer claimed he earned significantly less than the $150,000 Khalees claimed Nas made per month. Nas then lost his Georgia home in 2012 after failing to make mortgage payments. The bank took it and auctioned it off. Khalees wasn't the only ex who didn't get paid. According to TMZ, Nas's ex took him to court in 2014, claiming he was a repeat criminal non-supporter who owed her more than $11,000 in child support. Since then, Nas has gotten back up on his feet and made a series of great investments through his venture capital firm, which has allowed him to be worth $70 million. Number 9. Bow Wow. Bow Wow began releasing music when he was 13 years old. Since then, he's had hit records and branched out into acting, starring in films and TV shows. So you think he'd have saved up some money over the years. But based on what he told a judge in 2012, that couldn't be further from the truth. Bow Wow told the judge that he only made $4,000 a month and had $1,500 in his bank account during a child custody hearing. At that moment, he told them he also leased a modest vehicle. That's probably because he leased a Ferrari F430 4 years before and had fallen behind on payments within months. When the leasing company arrived to collect their money, Bow Wow was hit with a bill for more than $200,000. He didn't pay it, and by 2012, the total had risen to nearly $300,000. By 2017, he still didn't appear to be able to afford the lifestyle he imagined he should, projected online. He posted an Instagram photo of a private jet with the caption, "Flying to New York in a private jet," but then someone saw him flying commercial and tweeted a photo of him. Another internet investigator discovered that the image of the private jet was taken from the website of a Florida company. In 2018, he referred to money as evil and stated that he would give it away to fans. So perhaps he's always wanted to be broke. Number 8. MC Hammer. MC Hammer had every reason to believe that the fat times would never end. His 1990 album, Please Hammer, Don't Hurt 'Em, is still one of the best-selling hip-hop albums of all time. At the time, Forbes estimated Hammer's net worth to be around $33 million, but just 6 years later, he declared bankruptcy, becoming one of the most well-known celebrity financial disasters of all time. According to Time, the first was the $30 million mansions. Then, there was what had to be the most epic entourage ever. Time reports that Hammer had 200 employees on his payroll, which cost him $500,000 per month. But Hammer told Oprah that it could be $1 million a month at times. He stated that he had several hundred creditors when he filed for bankruptcy. His brother, numerous lawyers, the IRS, a couple of banks, American Express, limousine companies, department stores, and utility companies were all on the 36-page list. He even owed football player Deion Sanders $500,000. Hammer claimed he lost his heart and used the money as a blessing. Nonetheless, he told Oprah in 2011 that he wouldn't change anything if he could. He believes in the butterfly effect and believes that if things had turned out differently, he would not have had his children or the peace he now has. Number 7. T-Pain. T-Pain was hip-hop sound in the mid-2000s, but that didn't last forever. When T-Pain's reign came to an end, he'd amassed a staggering sum of money, $40 million, according to the performer, as he told radio show The Breakfast Club in 2019. Then he lost everything. He's fine now, but he blames his losses on bad real estate investments. "I was letting my manager handle it, and he was way more optimistic than I was," T-Pain explained. "He'd just buy complete dumps and think we'd be fine if we just painted them. We never sold anything we bought." T-Pain claims that at one point, he was so broke that he had to borrow money to buy his kids a Burger King meal. Number 6. DMX. DMX had 5-star albums, making him one of the most successful rappers of the early 1990s. Sadly, not even all the money in the world was enough to maintain his lavish lifestyle and cope with his disastrous finances, which led him to file for bankruptcy in 2009. Although the rapper claimed to have been left penniless, the court denied these claims, alleging that the singer was unjustifiably late with his payments. Things did not improve for the singer, who tried this strategy again 4 years later. After controversial statements from his manager, who claimed that his former manager had caused DMX's financial strains to inhibit his career for several years, the judge again dismissed the artist's bankruptcy filings, claiming that he had more money than he had actually declared. DMX's tragic story ended in 2018 when the IRS came to claim the $2.3 million the singer owed, leading him to spend a year in jail. Unfortunately, DMX passed away in April 2021 due to an overdose. We can learn from DMX how dangerous it can be to spend your money without having real control. No matter how many millions you have in your bank account, money can take years to reach your wallet and only seconds to leave it. So self-control should be your first, second, and third priority. Number 5. Lil' Kim. When you're at the top, you never imagine that one day you might end up contemplating your downfall. Yet, Lil' Kim had a front row seat as her bank account turned red and her money vanished. After running into major debt problems, her bank account initiated foreclosure proceedings for the first time in 2010 and 2015. However, in 2017, a judge ruled that Kim had been allowed to pay the money she owed. Only the singer refused to do so. A year after all these problems, the bank finally foreclosed on her New Jersey mansion. Like many other rappers who underestimated the power of finances until it was too late, Lil' Kim did everything she could to save her mansion, purchased in 2002. But her million-dollar debts caused the singer to live through a hell of debts amounting to $4 million, leading her annual income of $825,000 to plummet to earnings of $18,000 a month by 2018, after just 2 years. Her bankruptcy case was dismissed a year later, and Kim managed to get her finances in order. Today, the singer's net worth stands at $500,000, a paltry amount compared to the money she owned just a few years ago. Another great reminder is that not even all the money in the world can be enough in the hands of the wrong person. Comment below if you think you'd be able to manage $1 million without going broke, and keep watching for the next story. Number 4. 50 Cent. Probably you already know that 50 Cent went from rags to riches and back to rags. Since then, he has become a multi-millionaire again, but at a much smaller scale. Here's the story. As one of the most famous rappers of all time, 50 Cent's life had been filled with controversy. Once one of the richest rappers on the planet, his net worth plummeted from $150 million to $30 million in just a few years. According to the New York Post, 50 Cent had managed to sell 30 million albums, earning an estimated $60 million. In addition to that, 50 Cent was an early investor in vitamin water, which brought him an estimated $50 to $100 million. Along with his record label and clothing company, it is estimated that the real value of the singer's net worth was somewhere in the neighborhood of $500 million by 2010, just over a decade ago. By 2015, 50 Cent was forced to file for bankruptcy, admitting that most of the cars, planes, and jewelry he owned and bragged about were borrowed or rented, dealing a severe blow to his self-esteem. The straw that broke the camel's back was the singer's dispute with singer Rick Ross after a decade of bad relations. According to media reports, it was believed that 50 Cent bought a sex tape of Rick Ross's baby mama and added a voiceover to mock her, making it go viral without her approval or consent. This little prank, bordering on criminal, led to the singer paying $7 million due to damages. After paying another $17 million for copying the design of his G-Unit headphones to another company, 50 Cent eventually ended up filing for bankruptcy because of these lawsuits and his naivety, thinking he could ignore the law and do whatever he wanted. Since then, 50 Cent has managed to bounce back, and his net worth is estimated to be around $30 million at the time of this video. It can't get any crazier than this, right? Well, it can. Keep watching. Number 3. Young Buck. When someone adds buck, dollar, or money in their artist's name, you know they're gonna make some mistake that leads them to lose all their money. After evading hundreds of thousands of dollars in back taxes, IRS agents raided Young Buck's entire property, taking everything of value, from his dining room chairs to his clocks and crap tables. Geez, they didn't even leave his refrigerator. The rapper claimed that the agents took many things he needed for work, including his children's items, even though the IRS strongly denied these allegations. As the IRS moved to auction everything off, Buck made a risky move after his music catalog went up for sale and was about to cost him his name as a rapper and his multi-million-dollar brand. Young Buck's tax problems were not entirely his fault, but were due to a miscommunication between his manager and lawyer, arguing over who should pay them. After spending the taxes, both tried to deduct some of Buck's more exorbitant expenses because they were business expenses necessary for the artist to maintain his image. These tax evasion problems, coupled with the claims of 22 creditors amounting to $11.5 million, left Young in complete ruin. However, if one move was not smart on Buck's part, it was trying to hide his income from the bankruptcy court by transferring his money to another bank account. If the court had so ruled, They could have interpreted this action as an attempt at bankruptcy fraud or defrauding his creditors, which could have had worse consequences for this rapper than losing his refrigerator. The lesson of the story? You can't cheat the law, especially if you're trying to hide millions of dollars that no longer belong to you. Number 2. Fat Joe. Despite owning a $105,000 debt that he could have paid off after releasing 10 successful albums, Fat Joe refused to pay it. This attitude would lead to Joe ruining his life years later. According to USA Today, Joe had amassed more than $3 million between 2007 and 2008, yet again refused to pay the $7 million he owed the IRS, believing he could outsmart the authorities while spending his outrageous fortune on unnecessary luxuries. This attitude would make the famous singer face 2 years in prison, leading the singer to realize his actions and work hard to pay off his debt, seeking to avoid the consequences. Joe decided to donate computers to different schools and did a lot of charity work to reduce his sentence. Although the judge considered him, he was forced to serve 4 months in prison, a hard blow to the singer's career. Sadly, the worst consequences of his actions were experienced by his family, especially his 6-year-old daughter, after her classmates made fun of her father going to jail. After paying his debt to society, Joe intended his story to serve as an example to other musicians, imploring young rappers to avoid wasting money on jewelry and private jets as he did. In a 2019 interview, he remarked on the importance of creating a solid business plan to keep the money flowing because of how quickly a fortune can disappear due to excessive tax bills, day-to-day expenses, and bad decisions. What could have been a tragic story about one man's downfall became a source of inspiration and a role model for future singers in an industry that seeks to promote the expensive lifestyles that drive many people into poverty. Even if Fat Joe is not half as rich as he once was, today his awareness and maturity in money management are on another level, and he has learned a valuable lesson. And number 1. Exhibit. Since 1996, Exhibit has had an excellent career in the music world. After having 2 gold and 1 platinum albums, money was not a big problem for this artist. Yet no one would imagine that his real source of income would be found in the MTV show Pimp My Ride, hosted by Exhibit. Pimp My Ride was a show where people would bring in old cars in terrible condition for a group of specialists to fix them up and make them look supposedly better. However, after being canceled, the program remained on the air from 2004 to 2007. The cancellation of this program meant a significant loss in the artist's salary, who went from earning $500,000 during 2017 to having earnings of $65,000 in the following year. Of course, an annual salary of $65,000 should be enough money for anyone to live comfortably, but Exhibit didn't live just like anyone else. He owned luxurious homes in California and New Mexico, including a 7,650 square foot mansion. Soon, the good years were gone, leaving Exhibit with no car, looming foreclosure, and $1.4 million in debt. Yet, even canceling the program wasn't enough to convince the authorities about taxes versus all the taxes he had been delinquent on since 2006. Eventually, the IRS came after his money, instantly ending the legendary singer's dreams. As philosopher Biggie Smalls said, "Mo money, mo problems."
The more money you make, the more problems you get.
So let's look at 16 rappers who tried to solve that dilemma by losing all their money in the worst ways possible. Number 16. 6ix9ine. Our first rapper, Tekashi 6ix9ine, started out releasing his raps on SoundCloud. He didn't exactly get critical acclaim, but he had loads of fans, and a lot of money came with it. At his peak, 6ix9ine had at least $8 million.
That's a half a ticket right there.
And he spent it as flashily as he could on extravagant cars, jewelry, and grills. He even dropped $2 million on a McLaren P1. His custom jewelry collection included a platinum My Little Pony chain, encrusted with diamonds and topped with his own hair, supposedly worth $750,000. But 6ix9ine was caught up in all sorts of gang activity. In 2018, he got arrested on charges that could have seen him locked up until he was 69 years old. So he cut a plea deal and testified against the other members of his gang. His sentence was cut from 47 years to just 2. With 6ix9ine in jail, then house arrest for 2 years, the money stopped coming. And snitches get their sentences seriously reduced may be true, but it doesn't rhyme. 6ix9ine made some enemies, including fellow rappers Jim Jones and Cardi B, who he outed as gang members. 6ix9ine says he got held up by his former gang associates who stole his jewelry, including that 27-carat My Little Pony chain. Then in 2023, he got jumped in the locker room of an LA Fitness and had to get rushed to the hospital. Now that he's free, 6ix9ine is performing again. He collaborated with Nicki Minaj on a #1 hit. According to sources, his actual net worth is around $500,000 at the moment, which, if you think about it, it's not enough to buy any of the crazy chains and grills he's addicted to. He's no millionaire anymore, although he totally claims to be on social media. Unlike our next guy, who apparently learned the lesson. Number 15. Scott Storch. Scott rose even higher and fell even faster. Hip-hop producer Scott Storch worked with artists like Jay-Z, Kanye West, Justin Timberlake, and Beyonce. He stacked up $100 million, but in just 3 years, he'd spent 70 of it.
My monthly overhead for my household and household employees was somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 million a month I was spending.
Storch collected fancy cars until he had 30 of them. He bought a mansion for $10.5 million. Then he dropped $20 million on a 7-bedroom yacht, because I guess his house was full of cars and he needed somewhere to sleep. But his most expensive habit was drugs. And it got so bad, he was getting high instead of working. In 2009, Scott Storch filed for bankruptcy. His mansion went up for auction and got bought by Birdman. We'll get to him later in the video. Storch was arrested a few times and filed for bankruptcy again in 2015. As of 2023, he's working again, but doesn't live like royalty anymore. His net worth is a modest $250,000. He could probably give some business advice to our next rappers, if they take it. Number 14. The Island Boys. The Island Boys are Floridian twins who go by the names Kodiak Red and Fly Soulja. These goofballs got famous in the far-off past of 2021 with their song, I'm an Island Boy.
I'm an island boy, and I've been trying to make. Oh, I'm an island boy.
It was really more of a viral meme than a song, but the video of them rapping in a hot tub got 9 million views before they deleted it. Of course, before they did, Kevin Hart and Snoop had something to say.
I'm an island boy, and I've been trying to make. Oh, I'm an island boy.
I'm speechless. Two goofballs in the pool.
You know why I'm not speechless?
Why?
Because I'm an island.
Later, however, they turned it into a proper music video. Since then, they've been recording more, songs and getting into feuds with various celebrities like YouTuber Logan Paul. That feud started on Logan Paul's podcast. Paul's co-host, George Janko, tried to give the pair some financial advice. He suggested if they sell their jewelry and invest the money, they could be set for life. The Island Boys didn't appreciate being talked to like, well, boys, and they stormed out of the podcast.
No, hold on. No, hold on.
Podcast.
No,
Here, I'm moving for you. I was giving you nice advice, bro.
I agree with that.
Let's hope they're willing to take financial advice from someone. Different sources have estimated their net worth at $700,000, up to as much as $2 million. But in a recent interview, their former manager suggested the Island Boys are completely broke and they owe him $150,000.
They owe me about like $150,000.
From what? Your percentage of the cameo money?
Yeah.
Is that the only money they're bringing in?
Mostly, maybe a little bit on TikTok, but I mean, it's pretty much run dry at this point.
Where'd the money go? Well, if they own all the cars they drive in their videos, that's almost $1 million right there. The Island Boys are still pretty young. They've got lots of time to make money. Or crash and burn. Or both. Just like our next rapper on the list. Number 13, Fat Joe. Fat Joe has been there and done that, and wants to pass on what he learned. He was one of the first East Coast rappers to go solo, hitting it big with Flo Joe in '93. The money went out as fast as it came in. He says, I took private planes like it was a taxi cab.
The most money I ever lost was flying private planes.
He denied rumors that he owed unpaid taxes to the IRS. But in 2010, Fat Joe had made over $3 million in 2 years, and the IRS came after him for an unpaid tax bill of over $700,000. He paid up, but ended up going to prison for 4 months. You'd think Fat Joe would start doing things differently, but 6 years later, the IRS came after him again, saying he'd skipped out on paying another $1 million.
Woody would have got $1 million, man. His eyes would have, you think $1 million, that's it.
At least he's got a sense of humor about it.
I'm happy to see y'all looking great, y'all shining. Be sure to know, the IRS see you shining too.
Today, Fat Joe's built his network back up to about $6 million. He tries to give young musicians the advice he didn't get coming up.
I do this every day on a daily basis. If I'm in the studio and the other top young rapper is there, I sit down with them for an hour. And I let them know, yo, chill, this and this and that.
You see, they don't teach you how to do your taxes in rap school. Come to think of it, they never covered that in YouTube school either. Excuse me, I gotta check something. Whew, okay, where were we? Number 12, Ja Rule. Since his debut in 1999, Ja Rule won 4 Grammys and sold over 30 million records. Ja Rule was involved in a violent feud with Murder Inc. and got arrested on a weapons charge in 2007. Then in 2010, he got arrested again for trying to get a gun illegally. This time, he went to jail for 2 years. And while Ja Rule was beefing with other rappers, guess what he wasn't doing? Paying taxes. While he was on trial, it came out that Ja Rule owed $1 million in taxes. When they let Ja Rule out of prison for the weapon charge, they took him straight to state prison to do 6 more months for tax evasion. After that, Ja Rule helped run an ambitious music festival you might have heard of, the Fyre Festival. In 2017, 500 people went to a Caribbean island expecting the music show of a lifetime. But the show didn't happen, and the guests ended up sleeping in disaster relief tents. Ja Rule's co-organizer got convicted of fraud. People who'd gone to the festival sued Ja Rule for $100 million. But that suit got thrown out because the judge said, basically, they couldn't prove it was Ja Rule's fault they'd bought tickets. So Ja Rule made it out of that one without losing everything. Today, he's got about $4 million. Did he learn anything from the Fyre Festival? We'll see. Last year, he launched his new business, an NFT platform. But speaking of fraud, number 11, Tyga. Even if you don't know your rappers, you might recognize Tyga as Kylie Jenner's boyfriend on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. It turned out Tyga couldn't keep up. So he just kept buying new stuff instead of paying for his old stuff. In 2016, Tyga got hit for $1.3 million for not paying the rental on a Lamborghini and a Bentley. So, he bought himself a Ferrari and a Rolls Royce, but he didn't pay for those either, and they got repossessed. He got sued by a landlord for skipping a year's worth of rent, and he got sued by a jeweler for over $1 million in jewelry he borrowed without paying. At this point, you wonder if Tyga's even heard of bills, or if he just thinks lawsuits are how people pay for things. Tyga's reportedly worth about $7 million today, though he seems to spend money as fast as he makes it. Will he ever get ahead of his payments? He just bought his new girlfriend, Avril Lavigne, an $80,000 necklace, so probably not. But Tyga's definitely not the biggest rapper to show up on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. That honor goes to number 10, Kanye West. Kanye West, who goes by Ye now, has the honor of being the rapper on the list who lost the most money. Since the 2000s, Ye has been one of the most successful and influential artists alive. In 2022, Ye was the richest rapper in the world, with a net worth of $2 billion, with a B. Although, Ye might disagree with that math.
Now you're a $1 billion man walking around the streets. 10 billion, sorry. Missed a couple numbers.
Back in 2016, though he tweeted asking Mark Zuckerberg for $1 billion for his projects, since he was $52 million in debt, personally. I guess with Kanye, you never know. He definitely has a history of unpredictable behavior, going back to the beginning of his career. In 2020, he decided to run for president. Ye still has about $500 million to his name. So he's fabulously wealthy, but he has a lot farther left to fall if his reputation doesn't cover. For our next rapper, let's go back to something smaller scale. Number 9, Lil' Kim. Lil' Kim's debut album went double platinum in 1996. She proved a woman could be a rap star and not just a dancer in other rappers' videos. In 2002, Lil' Kim bought a mansion in New Jersey for $2.3 million. But then she ran into trouble with the law, and the money slowed down. Lil' Kim was in over her head. She owed over $1 million in taxes and $650,000 on her house. Keeping up with that house and her career, Lil' Kim was spending $2,000 a month on staff, $2,000 on wardrobe, and a whopping $10,000 a month on travel expenses. All those bills, and she was only making $18,000 a month. To stop creditors from taking her house, Lil' Kim filed for bankruptcy. She had to reorganize her finances. In 2019, Lil' Kim said she'd finally gotten things under control, and she withdrew her bankruptcy claim. Today, she only has $500,000 to her name. That's peanuts for a superstar rapper. But you know what? She kept the house, and she's doing better than our next guy. Number 8, Trick Daddy. Trick Daddy came out of Miami in the late 90s. His career took off, and at his peak, he was worth about $6 million. But in the 2010s, the tricks weren't coming as fast as they used to. Trick Daddy released his last mixtape back in 2012. His expenses started catching up with him. Trick Daddy kept going bankrupt, falling behind on his payment plans, and going bankrupt again. In bankruptcy number 3 in 2017, he filed to stop creditors from taking his house. He said he had no cash, nothing in the bank, but he owed $57,000 in child support, $280,000 on the house, and even more in back taxes. Bankruptcy number 4 was in 2022. This time, he was $100,000 underwater on his house and $800,000 in debt overall, with nothing in the bank. Since that bankruptcy, Trick Daddy is scraping by with a net worth of about $150,000. Some people can't seem to turn it around. Could our next rapper? Number 7, Lil Bibby. He released his mixtape in 2013 and started getting buzz while he was still in high school. Now that he was a rapper, he started spending money like he thought he was supposed to. It got to where he was spending $7,000 a month just on clothes to keep up with the Joneses.
And I'm like, man, I'm spending about $6-7 grand at least.
Eventually, fellow rapper Kevin Gates took Lil Bibby aside and explained that this was crazy. Lil Bibby learned that by wearing clothes more than once sometimes, he could keep his monthly clothing budget in the low triple digits. Lil Bibby retired from rapping at the ripe old age of 23 to start his own label with his brother. He also started investing in real estate. Now he says, I like to make people a lot of money. I got enough knowledge and I've studied this rap stuff, and I got enough relationships to help an artist, help his family. I get a kick out of it because I see how the label does it and my situation. I feel like just helping people.
So I'm only doing this to promote my company, my artists. So, you know, that's what I do it for.
Today, he's got about 10 million to his name. But things could have got a lot worse for Lil Bibby if he hadn't learned to manage his money better. And let's hope he stays out of trouble. Unlike number 6, Da Brat. Shantae Harris, better known as Da Brat. In 1994, her album Functified was the first album by a solo female rapper to sell 1 million copies. She had a great career working with Lil Kim, Mariah Carey, Destiny's Child, and more. But in 2007, Da Brat was at a Halloween party at a nightclub when she got into it with a waitress. And by got into it, I mean she whacked the waitress in the head with a glass bottle. That's more than a party foul. Da Brat spent almost 2 years in jail for assault. When she got out, the waitress sued her and won $6.5 million. This is where Da Brat filed for bankruptcy. She told a judge she didn't have $6 million to pay the lawsuit. She didn't even have $1 million. She had $100,000 and owed almost $8 million. A few years later, Da Brat seemed to be doing all right. She came out as bisexual and married businesswoman Jessica Dupart. DeBrat's net worth is currently around $3 million. Maybe her wife can give her investment tips, so she doesn't have the same problems as our next rapper. Number 5. Birdman. Byron "Birdman" Williams co-founded Cash Money Records in 1992, and in the 2010s, Forbes magazine called him one of the 5 richest rappers with over $110 million. But when you have that kind of money, everyone wants you to invest in their next thing. And not every rapper knows how to pick a winner. In early 2010, Birdman announced he was starting an oil drilling business. He even got an oil pump jack tattooed on his head to celebrate. But by that March, he'd covered up that tattoo, and the company was nowhere to be found. Then Birdman took out a $12 million loan to start a vodka company. But in 2017, the lender sued him and said he'd use the money to pay his other bills instead of making vodka. That lender ended up taking Birdman's house, the house he bought from Scott Storch, and everything in it, even his platinum records. Birdman had to go back to court to stop them from taking the royalties from his music too. Despite all that though, he's currently sitting on a net worth of $160 million. Our next rapper also made some questionable investments, but could he recover? Number 4. T-Pain. In the 2000s, T-Pain and his auto-tune voice were absolutely everywhere. He was putting out hits of his own. He went platinum alongside Flo Rida. He was on a boat with The Lonely Island. And as we've seen with all our stories so far, once the good times start, they never stop, right?
Everybody before me that I had to look up to, they were just like, no, this is great. Once you start rapping, it's just money all the time. Nothing bad's ever gonna happen. Your family's not gonna come after you. Just rap, and it's just girls and swimming pools after this.
T-Pain made about $40 million, but he wasn't even counting it before he spent it. He spent $2 million at once on a Bugatti, and he started investing in real estate, buying broken down houses so he can fix them up and flip them. Because in 2007, real estate was another party where the good times were never going to stop.
I think this is the most significant financial crisis in the post-war period.
Right, the Great Recession. All that money in real estate was as good as gone. T-Pain was in financial pain. He says at one point, he had to borrow money just to take his kids to Burger King.
When you say you was broke, you had like $0 broke?
I had to borrow money to get my kids Burger King.
But T-Pain chose that name because of his hard childhood growing up in Tallahassee, and he stuck it out again. He's not as big as he was at his peak, but T-Pain's kept singing. He even won the first season of The Masked Singer. And now he's worth about $10 million. But losing track of your money is a problem as old as rap itself. And one of the rap's biggest financial disasters is also one of its first breakout stars. Number 3. MC Hammer. Stanley Burrell, aka MC Hammer, was on top of the world when his album Please Hammer, Don't Hurt 'Em came out in 1990. MC Hammer was everywhere. He even had a Saturday morning cartoon. MC Hammer had an estimated net worth of $33 million, and the ways he spent it were as wild as you'd expect from the guy who made parachute pants famous. He bought a mansion and spent $30 million tricking it out. The place had a gold hot tub and marble statues, a movie theater, bowling alley, tennis court, basketball court, and baseball field. He had a swimming pool shaped like his signature Hammer pants, and another swimming pool shaped like a swimming pool. With a house like that, I'd never go anywhere. But MC Hammer had 17 luxury cars, 2 helicopters, a jet, and 31 racehorses. He was apparently addicted to modes of transportation. He went around with a 200-person entourage that cost him $500,000 a month. There was no way to keep that up. MC Hammer declared bankruptcy in 1996. He owed money to the hundreds of people, including stores, banks, limo rental companies, lawyers, utilities, and the IRS. And just when you think Hammer had kept his head down long enough, in 2011, the IRS came after him again for almost $780,000 in unpaid taxes. going back to 1996. Today, MC Hammer is estimated to have about $2 million, a far cry from where he was in the 90s. But spending too much is just one way a rapper can go bust. Number 2. DMX. DMX is the only rapper on this list to record 5 #1 albums and file for bankruptcy 3 times. His first album sold 250,000 copies in its first week. He'd end up selling 74 million albums over a 36-year career, but he never got stable enough to enjoy all his earnings. DMX had a rough childhood. He got addicted to hard drugs while he was still a teenager, and he'd been in and out of jail 30 times for different crimes. It's kind of a miracle he had time to rap. He also had 17 children with 11 different women, and that was one habit he couldn't afford. When DMX filed for bankruptcy in 2013, he owed $1.24 million in child support, and he only had $50,000 to pay with. He filed for bankruptcy again in 2016. This time, he owed more than $2 million. He said he didn't have any cash or cars or even any furniture. Even worse, the IRS came after him for tax fraud. At this point, you knew that one was coming, right? This sad story has a sad ending. DMX relapsed and went to prison. He got out in 2019. 2 years later, he overdosed and died. DMX never wrote a will, so if he had any money, his 17 kids will have a tough time ever getting any. But let's move on from there to our number 1 story. Number 1, 50 Cent. Hardly anyone in the rap game has risen higher, fallen further, or come back stronger. I'm talking about 50 Cent. 50 Cent released his first major label album in 2003 called Get Rich or Die Tryin'. And one thing he can say is he did not die trying. He made enough off that album to buy a 50,000 square foot mansion from Mike Tyson for $4 million. The house had 21 bedrooms and 37 bathrooms. It came with all the necessities, like a racquetball court, a movie theater, and a disco. In 2010, 50 Cent was worth a cool $500 million. He'd gone into a bunch of businesses, earning close to $100 million promoting vitamin water and over $70 million licensing luxury underwear. Then in 2015, he filed for bankruptcy. How did that happen? Well, 50 Cent was a big spender. In an interview with The Guardian, he said, "If you don't want nice things in your life, I don't even want to know you." He drove 4 Chevys, a Rolls-Royce, a Dodge Sprinter, a Suzuki, and a Bentley. But his biggest expense probably came from that house. 37 bathrooms don't clean themselves. It turns out he tried to sell it back in 2007. But remember 2007? T-Pain couldn't sell his houses, and 50 Cent wasn't going to sell his. Not all 50 Cent's businesses panned out either. 50 Cent lost money trying to start a boxing promotion, a movie production company, and a clothing line. But the knockout punch was a series of lawsuits. He feuded with Rick Ross, so he bought and released a sex tape of Ross's girlfriend. She sued him and won $5 million. Then he got sued over a failed deal to make headphones, $2 million. Oh, and he stole the headphone design from someone, another lawsuit, $17 million. In 2015, 50 Cent owed $32 million and said he only had $23 million. When he filed for bankruptcy, he told the judge most of his cars and bling he showed off were borrowed. In the bankruptcy, he lost most of the rights to his own music, and he ended up suing his own lawyers for making such a bad deal. Since then, 50 Cent's been slowly paying off the rest of his debts, but he released a new album and produced other albums and some TV shows. 50 Cent is back up to $40 million. It's less than a tenth of what he had at his peak. But let's not lose perspective. It's a lot more than 50 cents. That's 16. Here are some of the most brilliant rappers who didn't just make millions, but strategically held on to them. From dominating the music industry to smart investing, they proved that along with being talented artists, they are astute business people that became extremely wealthy. Number 22, Rick Ross. Rick Ross is a lyrical genius turned business mogul with a net worth of $65 million. With his own music label, Maybach Music Group, Ross's love for music is undeniable. Yet, his passion extends beyond melodies and into munchies. He owns an impressive 30 Wingstop locations. These bring him at least $7 million annually. After Hot Wings, he's also the proud owner of numerous Checkers and Rally's restaurants. Rick Ross's big-ticket acquisition is boxer Evander Holyfield's former mansion, the largest house in Georgia. But he's not just using it for pool parties and movie nights. Ross's mansion serves as the base for his In a Big Way charity, helping inspire kids from around the nation. His philanthropy extends to his partnership with JetDoc, aiming to provide affordable health care to the people of Georgia. And his taste for finer things made him promote his own edition of Bel Air Rosé champagne. He also serves as an ambassador for tequila brand 1800. And not just this, he's also an investor in Rich Hair Care, hemp hop smokables, cryptocurrency, and NFTs. Now, he's planning on a potential stake in a basketball franchise that shows that Ross is not just any rapper, he is a smart one who will keep making millions. Unlike Rick Ross, this next rapper entered into every artistic field there is to build his towering net worth.
Number 21.
Nas. Next on the list, we have Nasir bin Aludara Jones, or as the world knows him, Nas. Born in Queensbridge, Nas has had an impressive music career so far. The rapper has an impressive lineup of 12 studio albums. Even more notable, 7 of these have been honored with platinum or multi-platinum certifications in the US. However, this rap star hit a rough patch in 2012. First, took out a $400,000 loan that he could not pay afterward, and then he headed for divorce, where he had to pay huge court charges to get custody of his son. The rough patch made Nas super careful about his investment moves. And can you blame him? But the comeback, pure genius. He went back to his roots, the thing that filled his pockets first, rap music. Right now, he holds stakes in Lyft, Dropbox, General Assembly, Tilt, Ring, and more. So, as long as he keeps investing wisely, he'll earn back all those lost millions. Number 20. will.i.am. Our list would not be complete without the mention of will.i.am, who was holding his fortune steady at $70 million. Emerging from the LA hip-hop scene, he became a household name as the frontman of the Grammy-winning group, the Black Eyed Peas. His catchy lyrics and funky beats gave us iconic hits and a music career that contributed significantly to his financial success. But the music was just the beginning. Will's sharp business acumen saw him delve into the tech industry. He founded I.Am Plus, a tech firm that has been making waves with its innovative wearable technology. What's more, will.i.am attributes much of his business savvy to consulting partnerships with top-notch advertising agencies by working with powerhouses like TWA, Chiat, Day, Young and Rubicam, and Ogilvy and Mather. He has shown us all how to truly hit the high notes in both music and business. However, will.i.am used ways other than music to keep his net worth from falling, unlike this next rapper, who earned it all using his rapping skills. Number 19. Wiz Khalifa. Wiz Khalifa is a mastermind in the rap industry, and here's why. Wiz Khalifa has leveraged his rapping skills into a $70 million net worth. His annual earnings have consistently hit the $2 million mark since 2012. This has been largely due to his explosive concert tours. Let's rewind to 2011's Rolling Papers tour. Wiz didn't just rake in a few bucks, he bagged a whopping $15.3 million. But that's not all. Wiz Khalifa also turned his brand into a money-making machine. He's created merch that ranks in more per head than any average hip-hop star. He consistently pulls in over $5 per fan, sometimes even soaring to a staggering $15. He definitely is making the right choices. Wiz Khalifa may win the concert game on Earth, but this next rapper is ruling the metaverse as well. Number 18. Travis Scott. Taking concerts to a new level, Travis Scott delivered the most attended virtual concert in history within the Fortnite universe last year. The income generated was mind-boggling, a whopping $20 million. This catapulted his overall net worth to around $80 million as of 2023. This multi-talented artist's earnings are not just from his mainstream rap music. Being in a relationship with Kylie Jenner further amplified his fame, significantly impacting his income. Travis is also a smart investor, putting his money into ventures like his successful Cactus Jacks Records, a deal with McDonald's, and his sought-after sneaker collaboration with Nike. Clearly, Travis Scott knows how to play the game, both on and off the charts. After Travis Scott's virtual victory, let's come back to the real world, where another rapper is also making a mark. Number 17, Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar has multiple record-breaking albums like Good Kid, Mad City, and Damn. He's also raked in loads of awards, including 13 Grammys. He even made history as the first rapper to win a Pulitzer Prize for music. But Kendrick's not just about making awesome music, he's also smart with his money. With an estimated net worth of $75 million, Lamar's made some intelligent business moves, including partnering with Nike and American Express. Lamar's journey proves that a successful rapper can also be a smart businessman. Number 16, Timbaland. Timothy Mosley, better known as Timbaland, has been the genius behind the sound of many big-name artists like Jay-Z, Justin Timberlake, Missy Elliott, and even Beyoncé. Crafting chart hits seemed to be his superpower, making him a coveted producer in the biz. Don't be fooled though, he's not just backstage. Timbaland himself has rocked the stage with platinum albums like Shock Value. Not just a music mogul, Timbaland's also a shrewd businessman. His net worth is a cool $85 million as of 2023. A big part of this net worth is Timbaland's wise investments. This includes stakes in Subpack and Masterclass. Next up, we have an artist who, like his music, is truly worldwide. Number 15, Pitbull. Pitbull has dished out tunes that have gone global, which is why he proudly calls himself Mr. Worldwide. His genius lies in his ability to transform his music fame into successful brand collaborations. This includes names like Kodak, Dr. Pepper, and Bud Light. This year, Pitbull's net worth has crossed the $100 million mark. His music and branding makes it possible, sure, but so did his real estate deals and his charter schools across the US. No doubt, Pitbull is indeed Mr. Worldwide in every sense. While Pitbull burst onto the scene in the 2000s, our next artist laid the groundwork for new school rap way back in the 1980s. Number 14, LL Cool J. Here comes James Todd Smith, better known to us as LL Cool J. This legendary rapper has been in the game since the mid-80s. He's been crafting rhymes that define the gold era of hip-hop. His songs from his 13 studio albums are bona fide classics, earning him 2 Grammy Awards and a place in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. His incredible singing talent got him the wealth and the fame, but he kept it that way through his wise investments and different business ventures. This includes a successful acting career and a lifestyle brand, Rock the Bells. All his smart decisions have paid off with a net worth of $120 million. From a pioneer who shaped new school rap, let's move on to an artist who literally built a generation of rappers. Number 13, Birdman. With a $150 million net worth, Birdman is a vital name in hip-hop. If you've ever bobbed your head to Drake, thanked Nicki Minaj for her fierce verses, or hailed Lil Wayne as a genius, you have indirectly given props to Birdman. His keen eye for talent and smart investments have turned newbies into superstars, and his record label, Young Money Cash Money, into a gold mine. His lifestyle is as extravagant as it sounds. Birdman reportedly bought 100 cars every 6 months at his peak. Even after Hurricane Katrina wiped out his property empire, he remained wealthy. In fact, the abandoned property that survived the storm is still worth over $600,000. In 2012, his successes land him at number 4 on Forbes' list of wealthiest hip-hop artists, with a net worth of $125 million. And that was before his strategic investments in artists like Drake and Nicki Minaj skyrocketed his wealth. This American rapper knows how to turn a lemon into lemonade too. Remember the respect incident on The Breakfast Club? He turned that insult into a successful merchandise line. And in 2010, he made a move into the oil business with his brother. Now that's diversification. Well, speaking of smart moves, Birdman also signed the next rapper on our list. But now, that artist has the same net worth as himself. Number 12, Nicki Minaj. It's time for the queen of rap, Nicki Minaj. No one can match her fierce lyrics or fearless style, and that includes her finances too. Nicki wears the $150 million net worth crown. Her journey to wealth has been a mix of killer music and small business. In the music world, Nicki is a hot ticket. One verse from her can command thousands, if not more. Plus, her strategy is not just about upfront payment. She often opts for royalties, meaning she keeps earning as long as the song is played. That's a pretty clever way to turn pennies into millions. But that's not all. The Anaconda rapper is not only about the music, she's a businesswoman at heart. In a chat with Joe Budden, she spilled the beans about her new venture. She's been silently building her own record label and management company. So it's pretty clear she's not just a talented rapper, she's a shrewd entrepreneur. Number 11, Ice Cube. With a net worth of around $160 million, Ice Cube is a successful rapper, a celebrated actor, a producer, and above all, an entrepreneur. Cube started his career with the revolutionary group NWA, penning some of the most provocative and impactful lyrics of the era. His solo career also saw massive success with his debut album, America's Most Wanted, selling over 1 million copies. These feats in music contributed a considerable chunk to his fortune. After music, Cube transitioned to the silver screen, starring in cult classics like Boys in the Hood and Friday, which he also wrote. His acting talent, combined with his talent for script writing, helped him carve a successful career in Hollywood and add significantly to his wealth. Not stopping there, Cube showed his entrepreneurial skills by starting his film production company, Cube Vision, which he produced hit movies like Barbershop and Ride Along. This venture has been highly profitable, showcasing Cube's capabilities in the business world. After that, Cube co-founded the Big Three Basketball League, providing an exciting platform for retired NBA players. This sport venture has been growing into popularity, contributing to his net worth and expanding his empire. Now, take into account all this wealth, but double the fame, and you'll get the next rapper on our list. Number 10, Snoop Dogg. With a fortune of $150 million, the iconic Snoop Dogg is no underdog in the money game. As one of the pioneers of West Coast rap, Snoop has spent over 30 years in the music industry, racking up hit after hit. His debut studio album, Doggy Style, alone went quadruple platinum. But music is not the only field where he struck gold. Snoop's ventures range from TV and film to business. His appearances in shows like Martha and Snoop's Potluck Dinner Party and films like Starsky and Hutch have padded his wallet nicely. Also, he's not one to miss the green bottom. Leafs by Snoop has proved to be a profitable business move in the legal marijuana market. And let's not forget his entrepreneurial spirit. Snoop co-founded a venture capital firm, Casa Verde Capital, which invests in the cannabis industry, helping to boost his earnings. But if he wants to double his earnings, he should take notes from the next rapper who has a long list of successful business ventures. Number 9, Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne has a net worth of a whopping $160 million. And how did he achieve that? Let's spill the beans. Lil Wayne, or Weezy, as he's fondly called, is not just a rapper, he's a symbol of success. His music has been shaping the industry since he dropped his first solo studio album, The Block is Hot, in 1999. And the rest, as they say, is history. Chart-topping hits, sellout tours, and 5 Grammy Awards have all added significant weight to his wealth. But Weezy's hustle doesn't end with his music. His ventures expand into multiple industries, reflecting his passions. From his record label, Young Money Entertainment, to his clothing line, Truck Fit, he's turned his passions into profits. And the list goes on. His line of Beats by Dre Pro headphones, Tunchi Beats, his app Squad Up, his sports agency, Young Money Sports, his own brand of cigarillos, Bogey Cigars, a partnership with the French watch brand Wise & O, and even a shoe line with Supra, all show that Wayne is as good as a businessman as he is a rapper. Now, who would have thought the guy that Lil Wayne mentored and pushed would end up being even richer and more famous than him? Number 8. Drake. Drake, aka Aubrey Drake Graham, started out as a teenage actor on Degrassi, The Next Generation, but his real passion was always music. That's when Lil Wayne stepped in, mentored him, and the rest is history. Drake's global fame skyrocketed with smash hits like Hotline Bling and God's Plan. His success is not just in terms of famous songs, it reflects in his bank account too. As of 2023, Drake's net worth is a whopping $250 million. The rapper didn't just stop at music though. He's made some smart investments like his record label, OVO Sound, and his stake in the Toronto Raptors. This combination of music and money smarts truly makes Drake one of the biggest rappers out there. With a net worth almost matching Drake's, this next artist is not just a rapper, he's a record producer, fashion designer, and businessman. So, who is this all-rounder? Number 7. Pharrell. We're talking about Pharrell Williams. Known for his infectious music like Happy and Get Lucky, Pharrell's been spinning tunes and weaving magic in the industry, but he does so much more than just producing music. Pharrell proved his mettle as a fashion tycoon too, with 2 successful lines, Billionaire Boys Club and Ice Cream. His ventures extend beyond just these, as he has also co-produced hits with the Neptunes and made a splash in film with the Oscar-nominated Hidden Figures. As of 2023, he has a net worth of $250 million, thanks to his tunes and smart business sense. This guy sure knows how to make the right moves. Number 6. Master P. Now, here's another head-turner. Master P, a rap icon and astute entrepreneur who holds an impressive net worth of $200 million. Born Percy Robert Miller, he laid his fortune's foundation through his record label, No Limit Records. This label thrived in the 90s, bringing a unique southern flavor to the hip-hop scene. This was the pivotal point in his music career and financial portfolio. But wait, there's more. Miller didn't just stick to music. His business curiosity took him into a multitude of sectors, from running a sports management firm to producing films, from real estate to, believe it or not, a phones business. Master P has dipped his toes into a wide range of ventures. One of his most significant financial windfalls came from the sale of his sports agency, No Limit Sports, which gained him an estimated $10 million. Though Master P has made it big, there's another smart rapper who changed the whole rap game. Number 5. Eminem. Real name Marshall Mathers, Eminem has a net worth of around $250 million. It's why he's counted in the elite circle of richest rappers. Eminem came onto the scene with rhymes that told hard truths about his life. His real talk and word wizardry got people listening worldwide, making him a superstar in the music world. He sold over 220 million records, which shows just how much of an impact he's had. His music is not the only thing that's made him rich. Eminem showed his acting chops in the hit movie 8 Mile, which is a bit like his own life story, and made over $242 million. The rap star also wrote a book called The Way I Am. Outside of entertainment, he's been really smart with his money. He started his own record label, Shady Records, which found big talents like 50 Cent. He's also had a radio show on SiriusXM called Shade 45 and opened a restaurant in his hometown of Detroit called Mom Spaghetti. But to match this next rapper, he would need to double his dough. Number 4. Kanye West. Kanye West has 24 Grammy Awards and 32 million albums sold in the US alone. So, it's safe to say he's one of the biggest names in rap. And as you know, with that much success and fame, comes the money. The man even made it to the Forbes World's Billionaires list in 2020. However, unfortunately, Kanye's reputation took a hit following his comments. This led to the loss of several lucrative business deals. One such blow was losing his Adidas deal, which previously netted him a cool $220 million annually. As a result, he fell from the billionaire list to now having a net worth of $500 million. But despite these setbacks, if there's one thing we know about Kanye, it's his ability to bounce back. It may not have been the smartest move, but knowing Kanye, he'll figure out a way to reclaim his throne. While Kanye is busy planning his next big move, there's one artist who has not only made his own mark, but he's also played a major role in boosting others' careers like Eminem, Snoop Dogg, and 50 Cent. Curious about who that might be? Number 3, Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre, or Andre Young, is more than a chart-topping rapper. He's also been the guiding light for many big names in the industry. Think Eminem, Tupac, Snoop Dogg, T.I., 50 Cent, and Mary J. Blige. Dre was the producer behind their fire beats. In particular, Eminem owes his big break to Dre, who took a chance on the then unknown rapper in 1998, signing him to his label, Aftermath Records. Dre's smart choices have paid off. And how? He's now sitting on a pile of cash worth $500 million, a good part of which came from selling Beats Electronics to Apple for $3 billion in 2014. Plus, he's the one laughing all the way to the bank after the 2022 Super Bowl halftime show as the richest paid performer there. Now, there are only 2 artists in the rapping industry who outshine him in terms of success and wealth. First, number 2, P. Diddy. Sean Combs, known by his stage name P. Diddy, has a net worth of a whopping $1 billion. He's made his billions not just through rapping, but also through smart business ventures. Under the Combs Enterprises brand, he's invested in an array of ventures, including Aqua Hydrate, a premium water brand, and Revolt TV and Media, a music-oriented digital cable network. Diddy also made a huge impact in the music industry with his label, Bad Boy Entertainment. It was behind big names like Mary J. Blige, Usher, and the notorious B.I.G. His own music, like the 7-time platinum certified album, No Way Out, added a lot to his bank account too. One of his most successful ventures is the Sean John clothing line, which was such a hit that billionaire Ronald Burkle put more than $100 million into it. It has expanded from clothing to perfumes and colognes, and even a girls' collection. Diddy's wealth is boosted by Combs Wines and Spirits, which partners with Diego to distribute his Ciroc vodka and includes a stake in De Leon tequila. Overall, with his different investments in his music, P. Diddy has shown how rapping can lead to becoming a billionaire. Now, even if you were to double P. Diddy's net worth, it would not come close to the staggering fortune of this next rapper. Number 1, Jay-Z. On top of the list, it's the king of hip-hop himself, Jay-Z, sitting on a stunning $2.5 billion fortune. Jay-Z's journey from a New York housing project to billionaire status is an incredible story. His music career is legendary with over 100 million record sales, 22 Grammy Awards, and iconic albums like The Blueprint and The Black Album. Apart from this, his business ventures are the ones that put him in a league of his own. Jay-Z's portfolio includes the entertainment company Roc Nation, which manages top-tier talents. He also has investments in Armand de Brignac Champagne, Ace of Spades, Douce Cognac, and a $70 million stake in Uber. The list does not end there. He's also invested in Norwegian digital streaming platforms to Stellar Pizza, Madison Reed, FlowHub, and Oatly, plus the Brooklyn Nets. These strategic investments underscore that Jay-Z is indeed the smartest rapper of his time. Number 26. T.I., $50 million. T.I. has been making a name for himself since 1999, sometimes going by his other name, T.I.P. He sure stands out in the rap game. He has 7 top 5 albums, including 3 number 1s, more than 1 TV show with his name in the title, and several acting roles under his belt. He's even appeared in Marvel's Ant-Man, so you know he's a big deal. Like most rap artists, he's got an impressive collection of controversies under his belt. He's gotten into fights with more celebrities than you can count, plus he's faced sexual assault charges. And he's facing criticism for checking his daughter's virginity every year. None of this seems to have harmed his bank account though. He still has a net worth of $50 million. Number 25. Millionaire, $50 million. Millionaire, who sometimes goes by the name Mixtape Messiah, is a Grammy-nominated rapper and businessman, but you probably know him as one of the founding members of the Color Changing Clique. Sure, he could have made enough cash off his music career alone, but he decided to also open up a tour bus company, which looks like it's pretty successful. His net worth is currently estimated to be around $50 million, but he does seem to spend a lot of that money on custom cars. Number 24. Wiz Khalifa, $60 million. Wiz Khalifa needs no introduction. He's been a household name since he released his single Black and Yellow. He's still pretty young, at only 33 years old. Still, he sure cemented his fame in business. Not just with his own hugely successful singles, he's also worked with some of the biggest stars in the business, like Miley Cyrus and the legend that is Snoop Dogg. It doesn't look like he's had a side hustle, so his $60 million was earned through rapping alone. Number 23. J. Cole, $60 million. J. Cole spent his early career under Jay-Z's record label, releasing mixtapes that received some impressive critical acclaim. He's now widely considered one of the most influential rappers of his generation, but he hasn't stopped working. Even though he's still rapping, he also opened up his own record label called Dreamville Records, which definitely brings in even more cash. It looks like he's using his $60 million to do good deeds too. He actually turned his childhood home in North Carolina into free housing for single mothers. Number 22. Rev Run, $60 million. Even people who don't know about Rev Run will have heard of Run DMC. They're one of the most influential rap groups of all time, but you can bet he didn't think that's enough. Despite all the success that Run DMC has had, Rev Run has loads of other side hustles. He's also a producer and DJ, and he has more than his fair share of TV shows with his name in the title. Plus, if you're thinking the Rev part of his name is a lie, it's totally not. He is actually a practicing minister, going by the name Reverend Run. I don't know how much money that gets you, but he's got a net worth of roughly $60 million today with all that work. Number 21. Nas, $70 million. Nas has a career that's glided in platinum. Of course, I'm talking about his incredible success in the rap game, with 8 platinum or multi-platinum albums in the US. But as far as money is concerned, there was a time where the only platinum he had was his record sales. He did actually go totally broke at one point in his career. He sure bounced back though. He's furthered his success in the rap game, and he's also well known as a businessman and investor. Combine the cash from his illustrious rap career with his record label, Fila sneaker store, and Mass Appeal magazine, and these days he's worth roughly $70 million. Now that's what I call a comeback. Number 20. will.i.am, $75 million. After all the fame and success that the hip-hop group Black Eyed Peas gave him, will.i.am probably could have quit and still had enough money to live the rest of his life in style. But he sure didn't stop there. He's had a super successful solo career, but he's also been having a great time as a record producer. He's worked with some of the biggest names in the business, including Justin Bieber, Lady Gaga, Miley Cyrus, Justin Timberlake, Rihanna, Usher, Britney Spears. Basically, it's too many big names for one video. All this work is added up to a $75 million bank account. Number 19. Kendrick Lamar, $75 million. Kendrick Lamar shot to fame almost in the blink of an eye. He's now one of the most influential rappers of our time, even though he hasn't been in business very long. I guess that's what happens when you start at the age of 16. His laser focus on writing and performing music saw him crowned new king of the West Coast by The Game, Dr. Dre, and Snoop Dogg back in 2011. These days, his career is only getting bigger, so you can bet that the $75 million he has will keep growing. Number 18. Akon, $80 million. Senegalese-American rapper Akon has made a big name for himself in rap and business. He owns more than one big business, including his own clothing brand called Convict and his Con Live record label. You probably also saw him in his Pepsi soccer ad campaign. He also opened Akon Lightning Africa, which was originally designed as an ambitious charity to bring solar electricity to poor countries in Africa. He's since turned it into a for-profit business in the hopes of offering good jobs to people who need them. I guess he deserves that $80 million bank account. There's some pretty big names on this list already. Have we named your favorite yet? Let us know in the comments. Number 17. Timbaland, $85 million. It's hard to pinpoint what Timbaland is most famous for. He's seen major success as a rapper, a singer, a songwriter, and a record producer. He is pretty influential in all those industries, but he does seem to have almost supernatural powers for crafting hits in all areas of music. In the rap game, he's produced hits for some of the biggest stars, including Jay-Z, Ludacris, and Snoop Dogg, but he's since branched out into other genres with the same level of success, creating hits for Justin Timberlake, Beck, and Madonna. That explains the $85 million bank balance. Number 16. Nicki Minaj, $85 million. This list just goes to show that rap is dominated by male artists, but Trinidad-born Nicki Minaj hasn't let that get in her way. She's cemented herself as one of the biggest names in the business, and she's got more smash hits under her belt than most artists of any genre. Her music career has seen her collaborate with some huge names like Lil Wayne, Drake, Tyga, Chris Brown, Rihanna, and Madonna. Plus, she still finds the time to have a pretty successful modeling career. This is all added up to an $85 million net worth. Number 15. Pitbull, $100 million. Pitbull only broke onto the scene in 2004, but it didn't matter that this Latin star was a little slow to start. He instantly became one of the biggest names in the business, and he's topped the charts in over 20 countries with more than one huge hit. He learned to speak English by watching Sesame Street, but that doesn't seem to have held him back as a songwriter. He hasn't stopped at rapping though. He now also has his own vodka line, which sounds like something every rapper should have. He's currently in the top 15 richest rappers globally, with a staggering $100 million net worth. Number 14. Birdman, $100 million. Birdman can afford to be a pretty flashy performer. Of course, he's best known for his rap career, but he's done a lot more than that. He's also a record producer, entrepreneur, executive producer, and investor. That's a lot of job titles for one person to keep up with, but he doesn't seem to have any problems. All that work does explain why he currently boasts a $100 million net worth. Number 13. LL Cool J, $120 million. LL Cool J is just as well known as an actor as a rapper. Not many people see this kind of success in two different careers, but he seemed right at home with both. But he's not only a star of NCIS Los Angeles and one of the founding fathers of pop rap, he's also a successful author, record producer, and entrepreneur with his own clothing line. Bet you didn't know that. Sure, it's a pretty varied portfolio, but it added up to a very nice $120 million. Number 12. Swizz Beatz, $150 million. Swizz Beatz looks like a man with many interests. We know him for his work in the music industry as a rapper, DJ, and record producer. But he's used that success well and grew his money with a series of clever investments, which look like the key to not going broke in the rap business. He saw such a huge success from his Reebok collections that he's now vice president of the company. He's also a passionate art collector, which some say is a great way to invest your money. It sure worked for him. His net worth is now $150 million. Number 11. Lil Wayne, $150 million. Lil Wayne has a pretty unique career. In 1991, he joined Cash Money Records at just 9 years old. It's not surprising he was the youngest member of the label, but it is surprising that he had so much talent at such a young age. He hasn't slowed down since, and he's still one of the biggest names in the business, which explains why the other big names seem to enjoy collaborating with him. His long career has earned him $150 million so far. If you think we've mentioned all the big names already, you're wrong. The rappers still coming up are real legends. Keep your eyes open for the huge sum of money at number 1. Number 10. Snoop Dogg, $150 million. Snoop Dogg is a man of many names, but all his name changes just proves how famous he is. It doesn't matter what he's called, his fans will find him. He was discovered by Dr. Dre back in 1992, and we're all pretty grateful for that. With 35 million album sales worldwide and a collection of merch based around weed, he sure is a fan favorite in the rap game. His image is all down to how much money he spends, so it's a huge surprise that he's maintained a net worth of $150 million. I guess we just can't resist giving him all our cash. Number 9. Ice Cube, $160 million. Ice Cube is one of those people with talent to burn. Thanks to his success as a songwriter and rapper, the whole world is familiar with him after he made a name for himself with CIA and the NWA. Nobody could forget the legendary album Straight Outta Compton, but he's also starred in some of the most famous films in the last few decades, including modern classics Boys in the Hood, both 21 and 22 Jump Street, and Ride Along. You'd think that would be enough, but he's also a record producer and filmmaker. He seems to be pretty successful no matter what career he chooses, which is why he's now worth $160 million. Number 8. Drake, $180 million. Did you know that Canadian rap star Drake started his career as an actor? He started in the teen drama series Degrassi, The Next Generation, before changing his focus to rap. He still finds time for acting sometimes, but he's mainly known as a songwriter, rapper, and record producer these days. And he has more record awards than you'd believe. All the success has really translated to a serious bank balance, currently $180 million. Number 7. Pharrell Williams, $200 million. Pharrell Williams is one of the biggest names in the business, but he's another rapper who's found success in more than one field. He has his own record label, but he's also a successful film producer. And let's not forget he wrote the scores for the first 2 Despicable Me films, which would be enough fame for some people. He also owns a multimedia collective called I Am Other that creates music, fashion, entertainment, and art. All his creations have grown his net worth to $200 million. Number 6. Master P, $200 million. Master P has a list of business titles that could hit the floor. He was once a basketball player, but now he's known as a rapper, actor, entrepreneur, author, and record producer. And that's all excluding his philanthropy work. You've got to wonder how he finds the time to keep it all going. He sure doesn't look like one of those rappers who would go broke anytime soon. He's currently worth $200 million. Number 5. Eminem, $230 million. Eminem is the most successful white rapper of all time, but he wasn't always that popular. He started out battling rap in Detroit, but it didn't go as well as he'd hoped. He got a lot of racial abuse thrown at him during these battles. He spoke openly about being bullied at school too, but it seems like the hardships he faced when he was young contributed to the artistry in his writing. You can bet all those people who bullied him regret it now, because he's filthy rich these days, with a $230 million net worth. Number 4. Dr. Dre, $780 million. Dr. Dre is another hugely successful rapper and record producer who made a name for himself with NWA. After that, he went solo and became one of the most successful record producers of all time. But that's not his only crazy successful venture. His famous brand Beats by Dre is hugely popular. It's so popular, in fact, that it was sold to Apple a few years ago for the unbelievable sum of $3 billion. That for sure contributed to his staggering $780 million net worth. Number 3. Sean Combs, $900 million. You might know Sean Combs a little better by the names Diddy and Puff Daddy. He had a pretty hard childhood. He grew up in New York, where his dad was murdered when he was just 3 years old, but his life is pretty different now. He left college to intern at a record company and amazingly leveled up to vice president within a year. These days, he's one of the most famous people alive. With his kind of fame, we could all guess he's also hugely successful, and for a long time, he was actually the richest rapper in the world. That was before other rappers started seeing success with business ventures instead of just rapping. Still, Combs is one of the busiest men in the industry, juggling rapping, record producing, acting, songwriting, and a successful career as an entrepreneur. He's currently worth $900 million. That's just short of $1 billion. Number 2. Jay-Z, $1.3 billion. Jay-Z is the first rapper in history to cross the $1 billion mark. Even though he's had a huge career as a rapper, he made more of his money out of clever investments. He wasn't always living the good life though. He spent his childhood in a notoriously dangerous area of Brooklyn and had more than his fair share of experiences with drug dealing. But he hit the big time in 1996 when his debut album became a hit that sold over 1 million copies. Today, he's got his hands in so many cookie jars that there are all kinds of businesses that rappers love. He's got record labels, clothing brands, nightclubs, and more. He's now worth an incredible $1.3 billion. That's pretty far beyond $1 billion. And for a while, he was the richest rapper in the world until the person in our top spot overtook him. I bet you're dying to know what's at number 1. So here it is. Number 1, Kanye West, $6.6 to $10 billion. Kanye West is easily one of the most famous people on earth. Some rappers reach star-level fame and still go broke, but Kanye is doing the opposite. He's still heavily involved in the music business as a rapper, songwriter, and record producer. But his entrepreneurial and fashion design work has bulked up his bank account big time since Yeezy became a household name of its own. And if you're thinking he can't be that much richer than Jay-Z, You're wrong. Kanye is pretty serious about making sure the world knows exactly how much he's worth, and he goes to great lengths to prove his wealth. Maybe a little more than he should. He recently claimed his net worth has reached $10 billion. We can't confirm that, but Forbes has documents proving that Kanye's current net worth is at least $6.6 billion, something that he has struggled over the years, since he claims that Forbes always falls short on his actual net worth. Anyways, whatever the real amount is, the amount of wealth is something that only Kanye could pull off.